last one was talking about how Xavier was working with Arthur. And apparently this Arthur person begins to lose his memory over time. But at some point, Saya gets injured and is hospitalized for like a month. And when he comes out, he's like, he doesn't want to deal with anyone. He doesn't want to do any. He doesn't want to get close to anyone. And so here we go. This is the next bit. So an unspoken secret. Xavier always ties up paperwork when anyone else is out on missions. He helps Luke whenever the hallway lights are broken. Despite Xavier mostly keeping to himself, people find he's actually quite easy to get along with. His evil is even more useful, sometimes for a reason unknown. A flash of light causes the criminal they're chasing to unexpectedly drop to the ground. Our target this time is an old friend, Lawrence. Team 013 has its usual mission. Silence hangs in the air. Silence hangs in the air for a moment before Arthur awkwardly clears his throat, pointing to the image on the whiteboard with a laser pen. You all know what he looks like. The Sky Haven boys learned Lawrence recently returned. Let's keep a close eye on him and proceed with caution. Lawrence made his fortune selling evil hallucinogens, distributing his supply to major entertainment venues in Lincoln City and Sky Haven. Whether he's smart or has someone else guiding him, they always arrive either too late to find him or the goods are gone. They can never catch him. Several of their meticulously planned operations will lead to. Just last month, Arthur was disheartened, declared that if they failed again, it would be handed over to another team. Tommy understood this was a subtle hint from the higher-ups that Team 013 didn't need to continue existing. Our mission this time is rather unique, Arthur says, surveying the group. According to a reliable source, Lawrence be at the newly opened Palace Bathhouse next month. The purpose of this meeting is to select an undercover agent. His eyes brim with anticipation. They are to disguise themselves as an employee. The goal is to approach the target. No one volunteers. They draw straws. As they all unfold the crumpled slips of paper, a collective sigh of relief is let out. Only Tommy speaks up, on the verge of tears at the sight of a little turtle on his lip. I would rather do anything else. That place is too dangerous. I haven't even fallen in love yet. Please don't make me go. Arthur glares at him with disappointment and frustration. You're uglier than a cow. Ugh. You'd be seen as suspicious almost immediately if you look like Xavier. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Xavier, who was eating his noodles in the corner. Initially lost in thought, Xavier slowly raises his head, feeling many gazes on him. The city's most renowned entertainment district is a short 100-meter street. Tightly ensconced by grand, imposing buildings. The alley behind it is narrow and seemingly endless, almost devoid of light. Here, those with shady business gather, their intentions silently understood. Deep in the night, a group of men in leopard print shirts and gleaming black shoes saunter on the pavement, spewing alcohol-laden obscenities. Street lights illuminate job-filled flyers plastered onto walls, phone numbers mostly torn off. This is Kabukicho. Among the group, a lanky young man with grayish-brown hair can be spotted in the distance. In a denim shirt and jeans, he leans against a lamppost, engrossed in the music from his headphones. A middle-aged man, cigarette hanging from his lips, approaches and sizes up the young man engrossed in his phone. High school student? College? An adult. What brings you here? The young man removes his headphones. I'm looking to make some quick cash. Do you know how? Oh shit. That's Xavier, isn't it? So. Wayne leads Xavier into a private room on the top floor of a palace bathhouse. As he pushes open the door, a middle-aged man is seated in the farthest corner, pouring tea at a mahogany long table. This is the man in charge, Roman. Hello, Roman, Xavier says, following Wayne's lead in greeting. I'm Bob. Dear God, I'm Bob. Roman, looking like he's had a long stay in the underworld, scrutinizes Xavier. His gaze lingers. Just as Xavier begins to worry, his identity might be exposed. That it's time to do Plan B. That's weird. The man abruptly stands. He pulls a book from the shelf behind him. Pages. Your name is too plain. It doesn't suit our palace, Roman says. He looks at Xavier. Christian. We'll call you Christian. The palace has only been open for a month, staffed by young people around the same age as Xavier. After receiving his uniform and work badge, Xavier promptly completes his onboarding. In the moment he finishes, his supervisor urges him to clock in. Where's Alexander? The supervisor anxiously scans the room. What? A stomach ache? Then who will do the Fontainebleau? Fontainebleau. Go to Fontainebleau. Roman said he wanted to show this badge to Lawrence. Xavier Wheeling raises his hand. Mike goes in. You're the newcomer, aren't you? The supervisor sizes up the young man, realizing he doesn't have a better solution at the moment. He nods. Fontainebleau. Tenanda. Lawrence is here to discuss business with our boss today, so mind your words. The supervisor, watching Xavier leave, mutters to himself, such a handsome fellow. It's a pity he's dealing with this. Xavier arrives at the private room. Fontainebleau. Two bodyguards stand at the door, only allowing him to enter after a thorough search. As Xavier steps inside, the client is already lying on the massage bed. Oh my God. He pushes the tool cart to the side of the bed, simultaneously retrieving the essential oil and slipping on gloves. tries to lift his head, he realizes he's being held down. He can't move. Where's your supply? Who are you? Lawrence gasps. Let go of me. Help! Ouch! Ow! Someone breaks through the door, and a group of guards instantly appear at the entrance. Xavier looks at them and releases Lawrence. Xavier was doing that? Don't you know whose turf this is? Lawrence snatches his gun from one of his men. The others also raise their weapons, all pointed at Xavier. Oh, Xavier was doing that, huh? He slowly removes his gloves, leaving everyone unsure of his next move. For the moment, no one moves. Without even seeing Xavier move, some of the men are knocked down by a sudden burst of light. The young man holds a sword seemingly forged from moonlight itself. By the time Lawrence comes back to his senses, all of the men around him have been taken down. Xavier walks up to the man, kicks him, then uses the sword to lift his chin. Can we talk? By the time Luke arrives at his back, Xavier stands alone amidst a circle of fallen bodyguards. In the corner, Lawrence is tied up with bed sheets, his neck at an odd angle. Xavier, did you take out everyone in this room? No. Xavier walks down the corridor, pulling Luke by his collar. They ran into my sword. Message received, requesting backup. Xavier walks for a bit, then stops. Luke follows Xavier's gaze. A flood of men in black suits spills out of the elevator. I'm not very strong, so you'll have to do... the fighting, Xavier says. All Luke knows is that the grip on his collar loosens, and then he's tossed out of the hallway. You didn't look like you were losing. Ah! Half a month later at the commendation ceremony, Luke scratches his head. Under the fervent gaze of his fellow officers, he steps onto the stage to speak. I'm not quite sure what happened myself. Seeing all those people, I steeled myself. And thought, might as well close my eyes and take a gamble. Then I just started punching. Before I knew it, they fell like dominoes. Luke recalls that day with a smirk. Maybe they were just too weak. Oh, the true hero of this incident was our team's Xavier. And there's more. A month later, Polar Bear, notorious for selling illicit evil drugs, shows up at the doorsteps of the police station. He was tied up, weeping and confessing his sins. Another 2 months later, Cash, who had been using his evil to telecom scams, is found live streaming on MeTube, dramatically slapping himself. Tears stream down his face as he implores everyone not to trust calls from unknown overseas numbers. 3 months later, in light of the outstanding performance of Team 013, the headquarters commander temporarily reassigns Luke and Tommy. It's good for further career development, but both of them refuse. They argue their ability to catch criminals is purely because of luck. Yeah, because of Xavier. They felt inadequate being in more important roles. brother Xavier is as simple as he appears to be. No one wants to know. No one wants to know. Everyone seems to have an unspoken understanding to guard this secret. Alright, so that was Anecdote Chapter 2. Or is there more? Shit, there's probably more. Fuck. Shit. Oh no, there's more, yo. God, that was only chapter 2 in book 2. Okay, a familiar face. Alright, here we go. This is shit. Part 3, a familiar face. As the year draws to a close, the medals and recommendation letters from headquarters arrive. Tommy and Luke, two men on the cusp of their 30s, hug each other in a tearful embrace. For a moment, it's unclear whether Luke is crying from being overwhelmed or from the prickling pain of Tommy's wire-bristled stubble. Oh my god. After years of being underdogs, recognition finally came. Reigniting the dreams of many, Luke pushes Tommy, rubbing his own reddening cheek. When Tommy goes to hug Xavier places another pot of cactus on his desk, creating a barrier between him and the others. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I haven't finished sorting out this year's files yet, and I won't be able to make it home again. Hey, I'm going to be home alone too. Someone's going to have to keep watch here. How about we do this together? Xavier, will you be here tomorrow? Seeing Xavier about to shake his head, Luke quickly adds, "There's plenty of meat. You can eat as much as you want." Okay. Xavier the meat boy. The night before New Year's Eve, cloaked in a veil of night, Xavier walks back to the police station alone. Outside, the sound of fireworks echoes. Inside, the break room buzzes with warmth and growing merriment. At the heart of the table is a hot pot. Luke has brought freshly wrapped dumplings from home. Sparkling a debate with Tommy about whether pork-filled or seafood-filled dumplings taste better. Arthur calls out to Xavier, "Why are you standing there? Come in and help put up the window decorations while the food cooks." Once the dumplings are eaten, snow begins to fall again. The room is very warm, prompting Xavier to step outside for some fresh air. Not long after, Xavier follows him, handing him a can of beer while lighting up a cigarette. "Last month, while doing inventory, I found a file missing from the archive," he says, exhaling a smoke ring without glancing at Xavier. SD 19940122. 1994, January 22. An event that happened decades ago. The involved party. The involved party is long gone, and the office gave up looking into it. I wonder who still cares about this case. Xavier watches him in silence, patiently waiting for what will be said next. "I immediately requested for your personal files database, I found this. Arthur turns to Xavier, handing him a picture. In the faded yellow photograph are the... Are the traces of a man with grayish-brown hair. His figure is tall, slender. All that remains is a blurry white silhouette. Everyone has secrets. Exhaling. God, I can't speak. Exhaling a ring of smoke. The older we are, the less expectations we have for the new year. The less expectations we have for the new year. Regardless of our days, life continues in its steady, monotonous flow. We hope you'll choose to stay. Through the floor-to-ceiling window, a group of people can be seen mimicking the TV anchor's lively dance, exclaiming, "Happy New Year! We hope you stay." Xavier sighs, wondering if these people are truly capable of being a competent team. He lifts his head, staring at the New Year's fireworks that burst at the stroke of midnight above a thousand eyes. Huh? What? He lifts his head, staring at the New Year's fireworks that burst at the stroke of midnight above 1,000 high-rise buildings. It's time for him to leave. No. That's right when he's being found out. Right? Arthur found out. He looked into his old data and found a photo. That's why he's like, oh, it's time for me to go. Old friend. 2 days after New Year's, the streets remain eerily deserted. Xavier slips the missing file into the mailbox downstairs and feed the stray cats nearby before climbing up the stairs to his apartment. During the time it takes for rice to heat up, Xavier steals a glance at his phone. Rice? So, a couple minutes, 2 minutes? Finally, after 24 hours, he finally receives a response to the message he sent last night. Noah, are you going to ask what I'm going to do with this? Xavier had told him to come to his house to pick up the file. That's your business. There's silence on the other end. The typing indicator appears and disappears again and again. Text message. Xavier stares at his phone, waiting. It's not until the microwave dings, signaling his food is ready, that the message is sent. I want to use this for a new identity. I just want to be an ordinary person in this timeline. Are you still there? Oh, God. Do you think it's funny? I don't blame you, though. I agree. I was heating up some food. No, Is it that earth junk food with absolutely zero nutritional value again? I don't get why you like it. The convenience stores can't be even mentioned how you're... What? You mentioned how you're not acclimated to the climate. And you're not... And you're not fond of the food. But you fell in love with someone here. Dun, dun, dun. There's nothing wrong with that. Enough about me. Are you really going to wait for that person? Yeah. How long are you going to wait? 10? 100? 1,000 years? Something messed with the slip space during the backtrack. The spaceship couldn't handle the deep space tunnel fluctuations. Something happened on the way back. The ether core vanished without a trace. For all we know, they might already be cosmic dust. I know. Even if you press on, you're not going to get the outcome you're hoping for. Suddenly, the deafening sound of fireworks resounds outside. Xavier looks into the night. Some windows are adorned with festive decorations for the new year. The outline of these decorations, bathed in a soft yellow glow, paints a picture of safety and warmth as silhouettes move within. Xavier walks to the door and activates the intercom's visual screen, revealing the figure of a young man. He presses a button. It's in the mailbox. Take it and go. You! The young man is startled. He looks from left to right before he composes himself. He focuses on the camera. Goodbye. Wait! I have something to say. With a certain resolution set in his heart. He stares at his former friend on the other side of the screen. Be careful. They're going to find you. Part 5. The Road's End. So Xavier's been on the run for a long time. The Road's End. Lingering in one place for too long always leaves noticeable traces. Xavier has certainly thought about this. Over the years, he has walked many paths, only to realize that there is no real difference between them. Despite their inevitable end, these paths are still worth treading. God. The fire blazes with such intensity that it leaves no chance for survival. Everything burns, leaving nothing behind. He decides to die in his fire. Xavier turns his gaze to the abandoned factory, which appears much like a military base. The criminal chose a good place to hide. He drags the unconscious man into the snow, retraces his steps, and discards the man's identification and baton in a corner. The signs of the struggle have been set. The flames surge even higher, lighting the night sky. A few residual buildings are lit, and soon the urgent wail of the siren echoes from afar. At the bus stop, Xavier watches a police car speed by. As he prepares to board the bus, there's a cry behind him. He turns to find a little girl sitting alone at the corner of the road under a streetlight. The girl is young, a dirty rabbit plushie, lying at her feet. Upon seeing someone approach, her sobbing gets worse. Are you lost? Did you run away from home? Never mind. Cry louder so they can find you when I'm gone. Why are you so mean, mister? The candy in your mouth hasn't even melted yet. You haven't been away from home for long, have you? Xavier approaches her, brushing the snow off her head. followed me all the way here to let me know. It must have been hard. I'm curious how you managed to elude us. His friend walks over, hiding in plain sight as an inconspicuous guy. It's not much different from what I imagined. I thought you'd kill them before leaving. He shrugs, a twinkle of amusement in his eyes. You abandoned them, just like the backtrackers. How are you going to cover your tracks this time? Kill me? Or let me? Before he finishes speaking, dazzling light flashes. When his vision clears, Xavier and the little girl are found. The man stares at the footprints in the snow and grimaces. A blade of light materializes in his hand, and he hurries to follow the faint energy ripple. God. Just a street away, Xavier lands in a narrow alley, cradling the young girl in his arms. The flurry of snow he makes conceals their footprints. He picks up the fallen rabbit plushie, brushes it off, and hands it to the girl. If anyone asks, say this rabbit helped you. The little girl clutches her bunny tightly, nodding. You're very handsome. When I grow up, will you be my boyfriend? No. Why? Do you like somebody already? Xavier hums softly, turning a blind eye to the sad expression. Out of the alley. I'm leaving now. We can watch the shooting stars later. Oh no! That's her, yo. That's her as a kid. Oh my god. Yeah, he's being hunted all this time. All this fucking time. He's running away from everybody. Even her. The surrounding light gradually converges in the palm of his hand. The street light nearby, the searchlight in the distance, and the light from every window of the surrounding skyscraper suddenly goes out, and even the moonlight dims. The city is plunged into darkness. The sound of footsteps stops, then draws closer. Xavier opens his eyes, but he doesn't turn to face the person behind him. Instead, he gazes at the sky. You've never managed to beat me in the past. Things are different. Besides, the teachers at the academy will only teach the best of the best. It's too dark. So much so that the young man named oh, that's Isaiah! Oh no! It's too dark. So much so that the young man named Isaiah can barely make out Xavier's silhouette. His position can only be discerned through the sound of his voice. Yes, I will erase your traces. Suddenly, the darkened sky illuminates. Radiant light engulfs the two. Clusters of light streak across the sky like countless shooting stars, each shining brightly. The light bathes the city hall, illuminating every tree lining the streets. And in an instant, the entire city is as bright as day. Fuck. It's Isaiah. Shit. Sweetheart, what are you doing here? You had me worried sick. The girl holds her breath, clutching the rabbit plush in her arms tightly and staring at the sky. A young woman, tears streaming down her face, hugs her. The girl's eyes light up with excitement as she exclaims, Mom, a very handsome guy saved me. strong traces of evil have been detected. An anonymous tip claims to have spotted the silhouette of a S-rank fugitive Grey Hawk. By the time he arrives at the scene, the factory enveloped in raging flames has been burnt to a crisp. As for Grey Hawk, he is currently lying shivering in the snow on the verge of being frozen to death. That's Isaiah, isn't it? Grey Hawk is Isaiah. Arthur has a bad feeling about this. Turning to his colleague who arrived earlier than him, he asks, "What? Grey Hawk is Isaiah." Check one thing. Grey Hawk is Isaiah, isn't it? Shit. Hold on. I need to take notes. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I spelled that name wrong. Isaiah. How do you spell Isaiah? I-S? A-I-H? Oh no. How do you spell Isaiah? Where is it? What did I do with that? Didn't it say his name in this chapter? Am I dreaming? Hmm? Oh, it doesn't say his name here. Oh shit, I didn't read this yet. Oh fuck. Hold on. Ch2, but hold on. Oh, shit. Arthur has a bad feeling about this. Turning to his colleague, who arrived earlier than him, he asked, What happened? What's the guy from your team called? Grayish brown hair, kind of young, doesn't smile much, keeps to himself? The officer ponders for a moment. Is it Xavier? Arthur nods. Foreboding creeping into his heart. He was trapped inside. His colleague's voice suddenly falls to a whisper. His gaze fixed on the raging fire. He couldn't get out. The entire city is blackened in pristine silver, devoid of any sound. The heavy snowfall ceased by dawn. Leaving only sporadic snowflakes to flutter onto Xavier's face. The fresh, crisp snow crunches under his boots, each step becoming more heavy than the last. By the time he reaches his home, he can only lean against the wall and slowly sink to the ground. After such a long journey, it's time for a good night's sleep. During that winter, everyone talked not only about New Year's resolutions, but also about the shooting stars that suddenly appeared after the abrupt plunge into darkness. Some speculated it was an explosion of a neutron star millions of light years away. Others suggested it was a reconnaissance aircraft from a neighboring country being destroyed, or a new type of biological weapon. A day later, a team conducts a thorough search of the factory. Eventually, in an abandoned portion of the third floor, they find a police gun designated ST-110. 1101, and some remaining identification documents. Xavier, 23, served in Bloomshore, Special Task Force of Lincoln City. In the winter of 2033, he honorably sacrificed himself during his solo mission to apprehend the wanted criminal Greyhawk. This is one of the very few times that we actually get a definitive date, at least a year, 2033. Hold on a second. I'm really quiet. Ah. I wonder if it's because of this. I wonder if... Because I do have like a dual sound. I wonder if that's 8 pages of this. Okay. This is so depressing. In the year 2045, spring arrives. The day before New Year's Eve, Xavier finds himself in a cemetery on the city outskirts. Despite the passage of time, the disaster from 11 years ago failed to ravage this place. The sun, however, has bleached the granite tombstones white, and the details of the deceased have been obscured by grass and blossoms. But in line with the special task force customary, the tombstones bear no pictures or names, only birth and death years, and a string of special police numbers. Initially, Xavier only remembered St1101. That's him. As the years passed, many people appeared. Some were old friends, while others were strangers. Some he had spoken to, and others he had merely encountered once before. He didn't visit often, but whenever he did, there were always flowers placed on the grave. He remembers the month just after his death. The turnout at his funeral was not large, yet inexplicably everyone was sobbing, snot running down his nose. Tommy, embracing Arthur, wailed loudly. Even Arthur subtly wiped the corner of his reddened eyes, though he turned his head away. It's a peculiar feeling, as if part of his life is buried beneath the tombstone, despite it being empty. It's not the absurdity of being taken by death, but rather the unfamiliarity of being remembered for the first time by those who should not remember him. It's like a traveler after many years returns to the place from which he departed, only to discover someone still gazing at the spot where he vanished. Fuck. Happy New Year. The florist takes the money and hands him the flowers. Xavier collects his thoughts, expresses his gratitude, and also wishes him a Happy New Year. Within the ceremony, Xavier gently places the flowers on the graves of those he respectfully refers to as neighbors. A young girl hurriedly wheels an elderly man past him. You always keep saying that. Luke this, Tommy that, oh, your beloved rookie, Xavier. Upon hearing his name, Xavier turns around. He sees the elderly man in the wheelchair point at him. That's Xavier. The girl pauses, her gaze meeting Xavier. She gives him an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, my grandpa is old. He confuses people when he's not lucid. Xavier shakes his head. It's all right. He doesn't say much, and the girl doesn't follow up. She simply leans in to whisper something into the old man's ear. Her voice is very audible, but he hears her say, Here for the same reason we are. The girl stops Xavier from leaving, smiling. Excuse me, are you a relative of a police officer? Can I take your picture with my grandpa? Xavier turns his gaze to the elderly man in the wheelchair and nods. He wheels the old man to the edge of the cemetery Do you want a copy? Xavier shakes his head. Alright then, Happy New Year, the girl says. She waves him goodbye and leaves with the old man. Xavier also smiles. Happy New Year. That's so sad. Extinguish core with a powerful artificial one. See? This core holds fragmented land masses together, preventing them from scattering into the stars. See, this is why. It's basically Earth, but it's just the fragments held together. So aside from more dust, conversation about bodyguards. These rumors got even more outrageous and mysterious the more they were passed around. Yet the more enigmatic it is, staring off in space during lecture. What he's listening to when he wears earbuds, where he goes to hone his swordmanship, and how he's talented and how high his IQ is because he's always the top of the class, despite clearly never paying attention during lectures. There were times when I noticed him sleeping. I tried using my evil to resonate with his dreams, but whenever I do, I get too nervous and fail. After that, I realized quite belatedly that this curiosity of mine is actually a crush. She tried to penetrate his fucking dreams, yo! What? I always thought Xavier and I would continue like this, coexisting yet separated by a wall of mist. During our instructing lecture, our teacher mentioned a once in a century. No, not this. Not this. Oh no. Ready the tissues. Fuck. Our teacher mentioned a once in a century meteor shower happening next month. Seeing a meteor shower on a planet where the sky is a rarity. It's even a once in a century event. If I can see someone I like, I can die without regrets. The sun is red on fire, burning a hole into the sky. Xavier stands under its learn sword techniques. The whole sequence of events feels otherworldly, deterring people from approaching and thus interrupting. Not too far away, I sit under the porch and prepare to do so. As I watch the train, I want to ask him. Off a bit, I have something I want to say. I start writing words in the dirt with my sword. Once in a century events aren't significant for Philos denizens anymore. People like Xavier See, she's different from them then. She's like an old. If he learns I'm a person who can't even live to see 100 years and do anything I say out of pity, I would ruin everything. That would ruin everything. At long last, class ends. I stand up and find my target has disappeared. I looked around and eventually spot him in the crowd by the academy's gates. Shit. I hurry over only to witness the rumor firsthand. They aren't clad in all black as one would expect, and they keep a respectable distance away from Xavier. Still, these people exude an air of crushing. Xavier with his bag is at the center of their It's completely different from how he was earlier with the sunset behind him. I know nothing of his past, nor do I know where these people are taking him. All I know is that he's not happy. Xavier, I shut his mouth as loudly as I can. After a reasonable amount, I realize he gets most like the first time I've ever heard that. He breathes rushes. enters an empty is about to leap out of my throat. Some time passes, and Xavier pulls out a nearby chair and sits on another desk. I stare at him for a moment before realizing he's asking me to sit. Why did you help me? Sitting at the table is taller than me by a considerable amount. His eyes swirling light in their depths, look down at me in the dark. You appeared to be upset, so I thought you wanted to be free. How did you know I was upset? Well, we're classmates, aren't we? It's normal for me to be able to read your expression. As I try to find a way to explain myself, Xavier speaks. You learn by sneaking glances at me during class. There's a reason for that, Xavier explains. Is very shallow, so when light reflects on its surface, it's exactly like a mirror. It's going to look stunning with the meteor shower. Besides, once in a century thing. It's just another you maybe, but for me. Out and poke the corner of his mouth. Don't be sad. I'll just go by myself. I'll bring your wish to the stars when I do. What's your wish? I stand up from the chair and face him. I close my eyes with my hands clasped in front of me, wishing with all my heart. I wish Xavier is free to do what he wants. Xavier is stunned. He asks, what about you? What's your wish? I wish I could help, but I don't even know if wishing on a star actually works. I stay quiet, waiting for the shooting star in my heart to pass before I open my eyes. Suddenly, a flash of starlight appears. I look around only to see it's actually light from Xavier's hand. It glows in the dark. The shooting star has made a promise to me. The shooting star has made a promise to me. That's what he said. The weather forecast says one after another. I pack up my things, get ready to start my cleanup duties with the desks and chairs. When I turn around, I notice Xavier sitting at his desk. I rub my eyes, wondering if today is a special day. Did you stay behind to help me clean up? Xavier shakes his head and takes out an umbrella from his bag, placing it on the table in front of me. I stay in the room and I brought it. Stand there like an idiot. God. I hate this so much. I hate it so much. God. I hate this so much. This is But now it's too dark to clean up. Are you waiting for the rain to stop? Xavier holds a towel, watching me from classroom door. Back to my senses and obviously they actually did the work. Oh my god. After I put away the cleaning supplies, I find him idling on the stone steps in front of the building. Seeing me approach, he opens his umbrella and says, "Let's go." Under the umbrella, it's almost as if the storm outside is I noticed the corner of his mouth curling up. He's hurting. You're smiling a lot more since we've met, Xavier. Shouldn't you have heard that from other people already? Fine, sit yourself, I huff, continuing to walk alongside him. And of course, when silence falls between the two of us, he still lets out a long groan. I look at Xavier immediately. He looks back at me with a blank stare. There is mirth in his eyes. Do you want something to eat? God, but it's too late now. Are you allowed to? I scan our surroundings, getting our feeling that we're being watched by countless eyes in the dark. Xavier hesitates for a few seconds before he adjusts his grip on my umbrella, shielding us completely from the breeze. So I walk faster to catch up with him. Almost end up running. When we leave those gazes behind, Xavier and I stand under the shade on the side of the street. We eat bread as we watch the endless rain. I take a bite out of my bread, glance at Xavier, and I gaze eventually leaving. The hand of the sword comes back. Xavier, your sword? He's a little confused, but he still takes his sword out of his sheath. All of a sudden, I feel nervous. I wipe both my hands on my shirt and take it from him. I run my hands along the sword, feeling it moving. Wooden swords aren't sharper than Xavier's, even though there are countless marks. Even though there are countless marks from wear and tear, anyone can see that the quality of the sword is beyond average. Xavier, why do you like to train so much? You really take breaks, you train, and you're always carrying the sword around. It's not that I like it. I gave him a confused look, waiting for him to continue, but he doesn't keep talking. Instead, with a glimmer in his eyes, What? I look at Xavier, but he just stands there, staring at them. The tension between us continues to crumble, ready to collapse at any given moment. Finally, after a long silence, he gives in. As the rain falls on him, Xavier hands me the still dripping umbrella and leaves Later, I ask Xavier what would happen if he didn't wake up at night. He thinks about it, and then says to reach for freedom is to create happiness. It took me a long time to understand what he meant. To reach for freedom means giving it up. This is That should be you. Don't say his name there. It's so. Come on. Feel the rhythm then. Wish upon a star. Then I can wait another 100 years to watch the meteor shower with you. Not with Xavier. With you. I didn't think my heart. Oh God, here we go. I didn't think my heart would start acting up before I could even wish upon a star. The Academy's AC works without any care for patience, blasting cold air into the room. I crack open an eye to glance at Xavier. It's only then I realize the cold isn't coming from the AC. A single movement from our eyes could break the silence. I haven't thought of how to explain myself yet, so I turn my back to him. I listen to the rattle of the medicine bottle in his hands. It rattles and rattles and rattles and rattles. It's a little irritating, but soon enough he puts it down. He puts it down with a clap. How long were you going to practice for me? Till the fate possible. Don't pretend to sleep your way. It's time to I speak quickly, hoping to ease the tension, but when Xavier glances at me, he looks completely unfazed. Quietly, he turns to observe the sunset from the window. Then he looks back at me. Let's watch the meteor shower together. Xavier turns, the breeze bringing a sweet, cool, refreshing scent reminiscent of moonlight to me. He grabs my hand unexpectedly, taking me I remember something and begin to look around. Xavier sits down next to me. Then, as though he can read my mind, he says, "You don't have to check, they're not here." Truly? You got rid of them? Yes.
We got rid of them. I killed them all. Gotcha.
I lightsaber them. I think since Xavier's gaze the quickly his eyes become even brighter from the light reflected on the ground. Why are you thinking about others when you requested I watch the meteor shower with you? Before I can answer, a star flies across the salt flats reflection. It's starting! Xavier and I look up at the same time. The dark, inky sky is illuminated by various colors, clusters of stars light up the sky, one after the other, appearing and disappearing. Appearing and disappearing. Shakes his head and says he can't tell me. We sit there between heaven and earth until the sky turns light out. Then we stand up. Wait. Then we stand up. Wait, I hastily unzip my bag, pull out a sword tassel, a star-shaped charm, and hold it there's a meteor shower. Let's visit this place again. I nod. Wish can come true. But was this the price I had to pay for my selfishness? Ever since that night, which was the brightest moment of my life, everything turned free, a shooting star.
It gets way worse.
That's the first star tassel, Ch2. It's an awful disease. Ever since the meteor shower, I've only gotten more ill. My trips to the hospital became more unpredictable. What actually surprised me was that I never saw Xavier again. He just disappeared without a trace. No one knew where he went. I tried to contact him, of course, but to no avail. 1, 2, 3 days passed. Just as I sneak out of my room with barely enough strength to leave the hospital room, I recall what he said about how reaching for freedom is to give it up. Does he lose his freedom when he went? Did he lose his freedom when he went to watch the meteor shower with me? I lie on the hospital bed every day, tossing and turning deep thought like the night before the meteor shower. But the sky doesn't light up any quicker with my dark thoughts. Likewise, no matter how much I try to think, no matter how much I think about Xavier, he doesn't appear. Even if I'm stupid, it's hard to miss the fact that my days are numbered. I can tell from the look on the nurse's face whenever she comes in. Besides, this withered worm is not. It's like 1 month after the meteor shower. It's like to see how impossible it turned to be so. this dying heart of mine. It's too late. I want to touch Xavier's neck, but I only grab air. Return the protocord to where you found it, alright? Xavier doesn't say anything. He clutches the protocord until his knuckles turn white. You promised we would watch the meteor shower. We have our own destinies. Just as I finish speaking. Oh yeah, no. Xavier wipes them away. Around us, the mirror lays solid flat next heaven and earth, making the sky seem boundless. And at the same time, it makes us auditorium, but tonight the light seems brighter. His shooting star is shining for me again. I close my eyes and whisper my final wish. I wish to meet you in my next life. I wonder if that will come true. It will. He holds my hand. It's nice and warm. I nod reassuringly and feel as though someone is calling my name. Oh, look at Sleepy Boy now. Shit. What is in it? Dorida. Ah. Ah, soか. What is going on? Something ain't right here. Something ain't right. No kid. Is that a euphemism? Okay. Oh, now it's working. What the fuck? Now it's working. What the shit? Wasn't before. Okay. Oh, sleepy boy. Alright, wake up. Oh, it's you then. Fine. I'm still tired. Can I sleep some more? No, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Oi. Wake up. Wake up. Tickle, 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 tickle. Oh. I'll tell you. Don't tell me about it later. Stop it. Oops. Wrong button. Jeez. 69, dude! I really love this one. This is one of my favorites. Oh, it's not... It won't rotate. That's too bad. This is my... one of... I think this is my favorite illustration of him thus far. Except the new one? Oh my god. Have you seen the new one? That's gonna start on Monday. Oh my god. I'm really worried. I'm not gonna get it. I'm really worried. Hi, anyway, I'm gonna stop here. So until next time, have a good one. So long and farewell.